Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of VGU Talks, and let's talk games. And which game in particular are we talking about today? The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. Now this series already has 2 games in its library, and as of this May, it's gonna get number 3. And man, am I looking forward to it. I really like the series, and if you're a fan of Diablo style games, you'll really get into this, especially if you like your gothic noir, steampunk style action RPGs with a bit of influence from Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I personally find is one of my favourite forms of Dracula. It's really good, I heavily suggest you check it out. But what's so important about The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3? The developers behind it, Core Games, recently revealed 2 brand new classes to come into the game. They sound shiny, but how do they play out? Let's have a look. We got the Elementalist, which can unleash terrible, damaging forces from a distance, although his lack of defenses leaves him vulnerable in melee combat. Fortunately, he can wipe away monsters with a flick of a hand, or send in moving pillars of frost to discourage the enemy from trying to get too close. So obviously this is your long-range, mana-consuming character that you want to keep at range for the entirety of the game. Melee combat will not be very good with them, but they will be able to deal some insane looking and some insane damage dealing magical spellied stuff, which is just awesome. There's also another class coming, and this one interests me a lot. Very much so. Let's have a look at it. The polar opposite of the Elementalist is the Protector, a close-range armored specialist. Already sounds awesome. He deals heavy physical damage and provides bonuses for his companions. So think of him as a tank that can also deal buffs to your allies if you're close enough, which is awesome. With his vast array of abilities, he can charge right into the middle of combat, knocking down his enemies, or jump right in from a distance to begin the fight. Very much he is your initiator, tanky, buff class. Think of it as a paladin. I really like this. I think this is really awesome. It's going to help with more diverse lineups when you're playing online as well. If they work their magic with the Protector, as they have done with other characters and other bosses in the previous games, the Protector, when he's got the very high level super armor, super heavy armor, he's gonna look insane. I can't wait for that. Now keep in mind, however, that these guys will be joining the other 2 classes that were announced earlier on in April. These are the Phlogistonir, which is a very weapon-heavy class, and the Spellcaster Umbralist. And if you haven't checked those guys out, I heavily suggest you do. Now these classes are going to add a new development into the game. I'm very much looking forward to what these characters are going to bring to the table. And also very interested in what their tech trees are possibly going to build like, because with the Elementalist, I'm guessing you're going to have either your stereotypical style of fire, frost, and maybe even lightning, and then mixing in between the 3 depending on your own playstyle. With the Protector, I can imagine him having different playstyles as well, where you can go more buff heavy in order to increase your allies, you can go more defensive heavy, more offensive heavy, even more initiative abilities rather than buffing abilities. The trees on this are going to look insane, and I can't wait for it. Especially since the game is going to be bringing in 4-player online co-op as well as 8-player PvP. The PvP in this, with these many classes, that's going to be the winning point for me. I cannot wait. Quite frankly, I think The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing as a series is a very underrated series. It is a very good series of games, and if you want to get your fill before May, be sure to pick up The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 1 and 2. They're on Steam. They're not even that pricey, which I love as well. The Core guys work their asses off on these games, and I can tell you from experience, these are worth your money. Trust me on that one. Go and have some fun, and while you're at it, why don't you let me know your thoughts about these classes? What do you think they're going to be able to do? And what do you think the Van Helsing 3 is going to bring to the gaming table? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time for another edition of VGU Talks.